Someone recently left me a comment saying that the video felt too scripted and not genuine enough, and while I'm fully here and I appreciate the constructive criticism, here's some realness for you. I've been ill all week, I'm in bed, it's 10 p.m, I want to get the video out in time, so sit with me in bed, my script's right here, my drink's right here, let's get cracking. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you might remember, I mentioned in my previous video that I also wanted to talk about what I'm expecting from TV in 2026, which if you haven't watched it, you totally should. I'm quite intrigued to see what we're gonna get from TV this year, and if you're a little bit like me, you might still be reading from some of the TV we got in 2025. We had finales, we had new beginnings, and if we're being honest with ourselves, we had a few disappointments along the way. But now, it's January 9th, it's time to shake off those holiday hangovers and get ready for 2026. Today we're dissecting the 2026 TV landscape, what's coming, what we hope is coming, and how it's all going to measure up. That being said, before we dive into 2026, we need to quickly look back at 2025. 2025 was supposed to be the epic, the year of the crazy finales, the sci-fi comebacks, the prestige dramas hitting their strike. And while some shows soared, others, well, they fell flat. They stumbled right at the finish line, and nothing embodies that stumble quite like my first entry. Now, I've already dedicated an entire video to this, so I'm not going to go into the logistics of this again, but to address the elephant in this 2025 shaped room, the Stranger Things season 5 finale. After years of waiting, the finale finally dropped, and honestly, it was a bit of a disappointment. So much so that the entire internet has transformed into Joyce from season 1 and is going crazy with the conspiracy theories. The reveal of the Upside Down's origins felt flat, the pacing was bloated, and after all of that build-up, the ending felt remarkably safe. It didn't have the teeth we expected. Alongside that, the Duffer Brothers seem hellbent on ruining their reputation on these post-mortem interviews. Stranger Things was fantastic for what it was, with some amazing highs, and a disappointing finale does not take away from that in any shape or form. But due to that execution, it ranks fairly low in the 2025 TV shows. Compare that to Alien Earth. Now that is how you're handling a franchise. True, we've only had one season, so there's still a lot of stumbling that they can do along the way. But it was claustrophobic, innovative, and genuinely terrifying. It proved that you can take an old IP and make it feel prestige again within the Alien franchise. Here are some quick shoutouts to some of my 2025 favorites. Andor Season 2 was a masterclass. The White Lotus Season 3, which I binge watched on my flight back from Korea, was the social chaos that we needed. The Bear Season 4 once again had me absolutely gripping to my screen, and Culinary Wars continues to inspire me into 2026. We also had gems like Welcome to Derry, The Girlfriend, Apple Cider Vinegar, and of course the intense Adolescence. On the other side, we had shows like Nobody Wants This Season 2, which I did really enjoy for what it was, but it also kind of felt flat. I felt like it was the same storyline we got in Season 1. At least the ending of both seasons seems to be the exact same. It was a good year, but also at times a messy year. So, after that messy Stranger Things 5 finale, I'm looking for tighter writing. And that brings me to The Testaments. Now, is this just a Hulu cash grab, or does it have substance? The Handmaid's Tale definitely overstayed its welcome for some, but The Testaments is based on Margaret Atwood's own sequel novel. It picks up 15 years later and follows June's daughters and Aunt Lydia. It's finally not about June's endless escapes or escape attempts. Hopefully not an endless amount of close-ups of people staring at something. Yes, she's an amazing actress. It doesn't mean I need to have a 5-minute close-up of her face in every single episode. It's finally about the actual collapse of Gilead from the inside. If they stick to the book, this is hopefully going to be a surgical strike on the law, not a repetitive slog. Then, of course, we have to talk about Euphoria Season 3. I'm torn on this one. We've waited 4 years. In that time, we lost Angus Cloud, who played a beloved character and brought personality to the show. I'm really curious and a bit nervous about how Sam Levinson is going to handle that. I doubt they're going to recast, so I assume they're going to write Fezco out and maybe have a scene that pays homage to him. With the rumored 5-year time jump, they do have a chance to reboot the vibe into something more adult noir, which I feel like that initial teaser we got was kind of giving. Without the core cast chemistry, with the hatred for Sydney Sweeney, and with how some of the actors have been talking about Euphoria in interviews, my hopes aren't too high. It makes me wonder whether the spark and the public interest has been lost along the way. That being said, I'm still going to watch it. Since Alien Earth proved that prequels can actually work, I'm looking at A Night of the Seven Kingdoms with intrigue. This is the Dunk and Egg story. My big hope here is that I really want a return to the early seasons of Game of Thrones. I miss the days when the most intense scene wasn't a dragon burning a city, but 2 people in a room using intelligent intimidation tactics and fantastic dialogue. This show is smaller and more grounded, I assume, so it would be the perfect playground for that verbal chess that made us fall in love with Westeros in the first place. We'll see. And then there's Spider Noir. I'll be completely honest, I don't know a lot about the lore here. That being said, it's a Nicolas Cage live action in 1930s New York. If it captures even 10% of the style and heart that we saw in Spider-Verse, I think we're going to be okay. It feels like the kind of weird or niche TV that we should probably see more of. Now, for the one that arguably I am maybe most, but definitely very excited for, The Bear Season 5. This show has become the gold standard for anxiety-inducing TV. After the whirlwind that was the last 2 seasons, I'm expecting Season 5 to be the make or break for calm and sanity. We've seen the restaurant get its start, and we've seen the personal relationships crumble, so now I want to see if these characters can actually function in success. Is the bear going to survive its own growth? Every second of the show has me on edge, but I'm bracing myself for the emotional toll. Plus, to be honest, I never need an excuse to watch Jeremy Allen White on the screen. That man has a grip on my heart. All that aside, sometimes I just need some low stakes comfort TV shows. Unfortunately, even here, I am just going to be a bit cautious. Bridgerton Season 4 is finally coming. While we're finally going to focus on Benedict, I wonder whether the hype has died down. Season 3 messy screen time makes me feel like this might be the last season Bridgerton has to keep its reputation as king of romance. They have to focus on the main couple this time. These long waiting periods that we're starting to see in TV are really starting to grate me. I'm not saying we have to go back to the model of pumping out 30 episodes per season every year, but with the volume of entertainment that we're getting, it's hard to keep remembering storylines from a show that we last saw 2 years ago. Genuinely, even for a show like The Bear that I absolutely love, I know I'm going to have to do some kind of rewatch before the new season comes out. Same with the new Ahsoka season that I assume is coming out this year. I can't remember what happened in the first season. I remember bits here and there, and I really enjoyed it at the time, but why are we waiting so long? Alongside that, in the UK, we're also going to get Agatha Christie's Seven Dials mystery, a witty, high-energy mystery from the Broadchurch creator. I'm always sat for an Agatha Christie. And of course, we have Heartstopper Forever, a feature-length finale film. It'll be the final hug to wrap up Nick and Charlie's story as they face the reality of university. And look, I'm still holding out for the Summer I Turned Pretty movie. I know it's a movie, I know it's not a show, but the DNA of it is a show. And while it might slip into 2027, it's still on my mood board. I need the Cousin's Beach energy back. I need the memes back.
No cacao, but you can still keep the raspberry coolie.
Belly, cacao is the bean. It's what chocolate is made of. The whole flavor profile depends on the bitterness of the dark chocolate and the sweet tartness of the raspberry.
The cake is my one thing, and you said each of us get one thing.
Yes, I know I said that.
I need Conrad back on my screen. And then, of course, we have to talk about Heated Rivalry. This is already a massive hit in the States, but here in the UK, we're finally getting it tomorrow. This is the enemies to lovers hockey drama everyone is screaming about. The chemistry between Shane and Ilya is supposedly off the charts. I've heard it starts as a slow burn, but then becomes one of the most emotional romances apparently ever put on screen. I'm so ready for this, and I apologize if it's going to take over my personality for the coming weeks. I've been trying so hard not to get spoiled on the internet with this, but at this point, I know I'm going to watch it even if I do. Now, of course, we have a bunch of other shows coming out as well. We've got Starfleet Academy, The Night Manager Season 2, Star Wars Darth Maul Shadow Lord, which I'm going to lose my mind about. I think we're getting a Malcolm in the Middle reboot, and we're getting the Scrubs reboot, which I'm always down for just a good-hearted 30-minute episode. We've got some awesome K-dramas coming out. All of Us Are Dead Season 2 is coming. The Judge returns, To My Beloved Thief. I mean, the list goes on. And of course, most important of all, I'm sure we're going to get another season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which, guys, I'm sat and I'm watching it, especially if I'm in this state. Another season of The Kardashians. Although I can say that I haven't watched All's Fair, and I also will not be watching it if a second season comes out. I think I'm kind of over the Ryan Murphification of TV shows. And it hurts me to say that because Glee is one of my favorite TV shows.
% show tunes, 25% hip-hop, 25% classic rock.
100% gay.
So that is my 2026 roadmap. It feels like a big year, but not just for new shows, also for shows who want to prove that they've still got it after a chaotic 2025. But now I want to hear from you. This channel has become just as much yours as it is mine. Which of these shows are you watching the second they drop? Are you still in mourning of that Stranger Things finale, or are you already hyped up for Heated Rivalry? And since I'm so torn on Euphoria and Bridgerton, do you think these shows can actually win their reputation back this year? Also, let me know what you want to see more of on this channel. Do you want a deep dive review of Heated Rivalry? Should I do a beginner's guide on the Dunk and Egg lore before the new Game of Thrones prequel? Maybe should I just rank every season of The Bear just as an excuse to watch Jeremy Allen White? Either way, tell me what you're craving more of. I will make it happen. As you can see, I'm very dedicated. Don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave those comments and have a discussion in there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next dimension.